Hey there. I know you're fascinated by the idea of luck who isn't right, especially when it comes to like those big life decisions or, let's be real, trying to figure out the whole investing game. So today we're taking a deep dive into this episode all about whether luck is really just a fancy way of saying probability,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, the episode's author starts off thinking, like a lot of us, that luck is this totally random thing separate from all those like numbers and data that make up probability. But then they found this book, Chance, by Amir Axel, and it kind of flipped their whole perspective.
Ooh, color me intrigued.
Yeah.
So what's Axel's secret sauce? How does he connect these two ideas?
Well, Axel argues that what we call luck is actually probability in action. Think about it, even something like winning the lottery, it's based on the probability of your numbers being chosen,
Right.
even though the outcome feels totally random.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hmm.
But how does understanding probability actually help us? Is it like a crystal ball for making better decisions?
Not exactly a crystal ball, but it can definitely give you an edge. Instead of feeling helpless against the unknown, you can start to see patterns and then make choices that increase your chances of success.
I'm all about increasing those chances.
Yeah.
The episode brought up this fascinating example of Edward Thorpe, a professional gambler who used probability theory to beat the odds in casinos and then took those same principles to the stock market. How did he actually do that?
Thorpe was all about understanding the underlying math.
Okay.
In casinos, he figured out how to predict the outcome of card games, like blackjack. And in the stock market, he used his mathematical skills to develop trading strategies that gave him an advantage.
So it's like he turned luck into a science.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But let's be real, most of us aren't card sharks or financial wizards. How could we mere mortals use probability in our everyday lives?
The episode suggests a strategy I find really helpful. When you're facing a big decision with uncertain outcomes, imagine different scenarios, a best case, a typical one, and yes, even a worst case.
So basically plan for all the possibilities, right?
Right. But here's the key. Don't just list the scenarios. Try to assign probabilities to them. Ask yourself, based on what I know, how likely is each outcome?
Hold on. Wouldn't thinking about the worst case scenario just make me feel anxious?
That's a fair point, but the goal isn't to dwell on negativity. It's about being prepared, If you've already thought through the potential downsides, you're less likely to panic if things go sideways.
I see. So it's about managing expectations and staying level-headed.
Exactly. Plus, thinking in terms of probabilities keeps you grounded in the present, Instead of getting lost in what ifs, you're focused on the information you have now and the choices you can make today.
Okay, that makes sense. So instead of waiting for luck to strike, we can use probability to prepare ourselves and make smarter choices. But how do we actually create opportunities? I remember the episode mentioned something called positive expected value. What's that all about?
This is where it gets really interesting. Imagine you're evaluating different options, kind of like placing bets. Positive expected value means choosing the actions where the potential benefits outweigh the risks over the long run.
So it's not about being reckless, it's about calculated risk-taking, right?
Exactly. A great example from the episode is Peter Lynch, a legendary investor.
Yes.
He focused on companies he truly understood, especially in familiar areas like retail. He famously said, "Invest in companies you can explain to a child."
I love that quote. He wasn't chasing the latest fads. He was looking for solid, understandable businesses with growth potential. He was basically making informed bets.
Right. And that's key to acquiring opportunities, understanding where to focus your energy and resources for the best potential outcomes. But sometimes it feels like opportunities just appear out of nowhere. You get one lucky break and suddenly everything starts falling into place.
Yeah.
How does that fit in with probability?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
That's what Axel calls the clusters of luck phenomenon. He observed that seizing one opportunity can create a ripple effect, opening doors to even more opportunities down the line.
Okay, can you give me an example? I'm a little lost.
Think of Elvis Presley's rise to fame. It started with him recording a song as a simple gift for his mother.
Oh, wow.
But then the studio owner hears him, offers a contract, and boom! Hits singles concerts, movies, one opportunity leads to another.
Wow, that's a perfect illustration. So it's like a chain reaction of opportunities.
Exactly. And while we can't always predict those chain reactions, we can put ourselves in a better position to benefit from them by being prepared and ready to act when those initial opportunities arise.
Okay, that makes total sense. But is there anything specific we could do to make ourselves more luck ready?
The episode highlighted 3 key traits of people who are good at seizing opportunities. It all starts with being a keen observer, just like Louis Pasteur, the scientist who figured out that bacteria cause diseases, He noticed tiny details that others missed, and that led to a groundbreaking discovery.
So it's all about paying attention to the details, even the seemingly insignificant ones. Got it. What else?
You also need to be decisive. Think of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg. When he saw the potential of social networking, he didn't hesitate. He dropped out of Harvard and went all in on Facebook. That decisiveness was key to his success.
So it's about being able to recognize the right moment and take action without overthinking it. Makes sense. What's the third trait?
Remember Edward Thorpe? He wasn't just a mathematician, he was also a physicist and a financial investor, That diverse skill set allowed him to spot connections and opportunities that others might have missed, both in the casino and the stock market.
So it's not just about being good at one thing. It's about having a range of skills and knowledge that you can apply in different situations.
Yeah.
That makes you more adaptable and more likely to spot those hidden opportunities. This is all great, but let's get real for a second. We can't predict the future. How can we prepare for something we don't even know is coming?
That's a great question, and it brings us to the next part of our deep dive.
All right, so we've talked about how understanding probability and having the right skills can make us more luck ready. But what about preparing for the future when, well, the future is a total mystery?
That's where the episode's emphasis on building a solid foundation really comes in. It's not just about tangible things like skills and money. It's about cultivating a mindset that attracts opportunities.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do we shift our mindset to be more luck magnet-like?
The episode's author is a big believer in being open to new experiences. It's about stepping outside that comfort zone, trying things that might seem a little scary, and being ready for the unexpected.
So even if we've got all our ducks in a row, we could still miss out if we're not open to new possibilities.
Exactly. Opportunity can show up in the most surprising ways, often disguised as something challenging or totally unfamiliar. If we're too rigid in our thinking or afraid to take risks, we might miss those pivotal moments.
It's like that saying, you can't discover new oceans unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. But being open to everything sounds a bit overwhelming. How do we strike a balance?
It's not about saying yes to every single thing that comes your way. It's more about cultivating a curious and adaptable mindset, being willing to at least consider possibilities you might not have thought of before.
So it's about being open to learning and growing, not just sticking with what's comfortable and familiar.
Exactly. It's about seeing the world as a place full of possibilities, not a set path you have to follow rigidly.
Okay, I'm digging this idea of an opportunity mindset. But how do we actually recognize those opportunities when they show up? Sometimes I feel like they're hiding in plain sight.
Remember those keen observation skills we talked about? They're crucial. It's about paying attention to the world around you, spotting patterns, noticing those subtle shifts or signals that might hint at an emerging opportunity.
It's like we're detectives constantly searching for clues.
I like that analogy. But it's not just about looking outward, it's also about being introspective, paying attention to your own thoughts and feelings. Sometimes your gut instinct can be a powerful indicator that something is worth exploring.
I definitely had those moments where something just felt right, even if I couldn't logically explain why.
That's your intuition speaking. And while you shouldn't rely on it blindly, it can be a valuable guide when you combine it with your observations and analysis.
So we're detectives, we're open to new experiences, we're trusting our gut. What else can we do to boost our chances of spotting those elusive opportunities?
Don't underestimate the power of actively seeking out information and feedback. Ask questions, have conversations, and be willing to learn from others.
So it's not just about waiting for opportunities to magically appear, it's about going out and finding them.
Exactly. And sometimes the most valuable insights come from unexpected places. Chat with people outside your usual circles, go to events in different fields, or just read widely.
It's like the more we expand our knowledge and connections, the more dots we have to connect, which can lead to some pretty amazing aha moments.
Precisely. And those aha moments are often where innovation and creativity and, yes, opportunity really spark.
Okay, so we've got the recognizing opportunities part down. But what about the actual decision making? How do we know when to go all in and when to hold back?
That's where things get a little trickier because there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Every opportunity comes with its own set of risks and rewards. It's up to you to weigh those factors and make a choice that aligns with your goals and values.
So it's not just about chasing every shiny opportunity that crosses our path. It's about being smart and selective, choosing what's right for us.
Absolutely. And sometimes the smartest decision is to say no to an opportunity, even if it seems promising on the surface. It's about trusting your instincts, knowing your strengths and limitations, and making choices that serve your long-term well-being.
It's like being the CEO of your own life, carefully evaluating each potential investment.
That's a great way to put it. And a wise CEO knows that sometimes the best deal is the one you walk away from.
This is all starting to click for me.
Yeah.
It's not about luck. It's about a mix of preparation mindset and smart decision making.
Mm.
But isn't there a danger in overthinking things? What if we analyze ourselves into paralysis?
That's a valid concern, and it brings us to another important point.
So we've talked about recognizing opportunities and making smart decisions. But I can't help but wonder, where's the line between overthinking and careful consideration?
That's a great question, and it ties into something the episode touches on towards the end, the idea that we're not just recipients of luck. We can actually create opportunities not just for ourselves, but for others as well.
Hold on, creating opportunities. I thought we were talking about recognizing them. How do you even go about creating something that doesn't exist yet?
Remember how the episode emphasized continuous learning and self-improvement? It's not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about using that knowledge to make a difference in the world.
So the more we learn and grow, the more equipped we become to solve problems, innovate, and create something new and valuable. And that, in turn, creates opportunities.
Exactly. Think about it. Every invention, every business, every social movement started with someone seeing a need, a problem, or a possibility that others hadn't noticed or addressed. They used their knowledge, skills, and passion to create something that filled that gap, often opening doors for themselves and countless others along the way.
So instead of waiting for the perfect opportunity to fall in our lap, we can actively shape our environment, contribute our unique talents, and make things happen. That's a game changer.
It really is. And the episode highlights some really practical ways to do this. Remember those alternatives to traditional networking we talked about. Engaging in online communities, creating content, sharing our expertise. These are all ways we can contribute to the collective knowledge and creativity of the world.
And in doing so, we're not just creating opportunities for ourselves, we're creating a ripple effect that can inspire and empower others to do the same. It's pretty powerful when you think about it.
It's like planting seeds. Each act of creation, each piece of knowledge we share, each connection we make has the potential to blossom into something bigger than ourselves, creating a more vibrant and opportunity-rich world for everyone.
I'm starting to see how luck isn't just about random chance. It's about actively participating in the world, contributing our unique gifts, and being open to the possibilities that emerge from those actions.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it's something we can all do, regardless of our background, skills, or resources. It's about tapping into that human potential that we all have.
It's empowering to realize that we're not just passengers on this crazy ride called life. We're actually co-creators of the journey.
And that brings us back to the episode's final thought. Reflect on your own experiences. Were those moments you attributed to luck actually the result of preparation meeting opportunity? What skills, knowledge, or connections played a role in those seemingly lucky breaks?
It's a great question to ponder. It really highlights how we often underestimate the role we play in creating our own good fortune.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thought. What seeds of opportunity can you plant today? What knowledge can you share? What connections can you make? What problems can you help solve?
It's a powerful call to action. It reminds us that we're not just recipients of luck. We're active agents in creating a more fortunate and fulfilling world for ourselves and others.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe by planting those seeds today, we'll create a whole forest of opportunities for tomorrow.
Wow, that's an inspiring thought. Thank you so much for guiding us through this incredible deep dive. It's been an absolute pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
The pleasure was all mine. And remember, the exploration doesn't end here. Keep learning, keep growing, keep creating, and keep those eyes peeled for those opportunities because they're out there waiting to be discovered.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, expanded your thinking, and inspired you to create your own luck in the world. Until next time, keep diving deep.